Hello, people. What is up? Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, Hello to this day two, the last day of the IGDC careers track. So awesome to be here. And we have something that have been waiting for a long time, right? So today, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Valeria and a little bit about her. So, Valeria Rossi is a senior talent acquisition specialist currently working at Remedy Entertainment, which is a Finnish video game company known for story driven and visually stunning action games with titles such as Alan Wake, Max Payne, Quantum Break, and Control. And Max Payne is all time my favorite story driven. Like I use Max Payne for my storytelling in my course classes. I absolutely love. I'm the biggest fan ever of that particular game and the character. Max Payne, Quantum Break, and Control. So she's working in recruitment since 2011 and gaming since 2013, formerly working for King, the game developer behind the world famous Candy Crush franchise. She specializes in the recruitment of artists and designers for both mobile and console games. And she and her colleague are going to be giving you all the information you need to know. So before I hand it over to her, the one thing I want to say is that there is a feedback form in the handouts, right? So at the end of the talk, I will remind you once again, please go in, click on it, just Google link. It will take you 30 seconds. If you can give us feedback about the session, that would be great. Any questions you have, please type them in the chat and we will attempt at the end. There'll be about at least 10-15 minutes left for question answers and we will try to answer your questions. So guys, take it away. Let's go. Everything okay? You guys having a problem sharing?
Yeah, I was like, where is I can't find the join stage.
Oh, you're already
Oh,
on
we
the
already.
stage.
Okay. Awesome.
You were there. I left. So what you have to do is you just have to share your screen. Okay.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
I'm
Thank you.
leaving and I'm leaving you guys on stage. Okay.
Thank you very much. See ya. Awesome. Hi, everyone. We're gonna quickly share our presentation. Yes. Share screen. All right. Hope you all see our screen. And yeah, the only thing, we can't really see if there's any question right now. Yeah, let's try here and here. All right, yeah, I see this is working. Can you see the note? Everything good? Yeah, we go back. Can you hear us? Hopefully. Hi, everyone. I'm Valeria, and this is my colleague Raja. Awesome, perfect. Thank you. So we can see the chat right now if we share the screen, but we will try to answer any question afterwards. Okay. So I'll go back to the presentation here. Awesome. So we already had the introduction. So you already know a bit about myself, and Raja is gonna introduce himself quickly if you want.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be here, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to talk in IGDC.
Awesome. This is an overview of what we're going to talk about. So a bit about Remedy. So you heard about the title we're famous for. Then Raja's going to tell a bit more about his story and how he got into the gaming industry. And then from me, some tips and tricks about how to get into the game industry, how does usually a recruitment process works, and portfolios, applications, and so on. Cool. So about Remedy, first of all, Remedy is started as a very small studio with around 60 people focusing on one project per time. And now we are a multi-project studio. We are an independent game developer founded in 1995 in Finland. We have around 300 people right now working for us, and actually over 30 nationalities from different countries. This is some pictures from our studio. We're based in Espoo, in the capital area of Finland. Currently in a new building, you can see there on the left. And we have literally everything we need in this building. We have a mocap studio, 2 saunas, because Finnish people, they really love saunas, a canteen, a gym, and is a semi-open space. And again, you heard a bit about the titles that Remedy is famous for. We have Control, Quantum Break, Alan Wake, a few games around, Alan Wake, Max Payne, one of the most famous one, and Death Rally was the first title that we shipped. We recently released Alan Wake Remastered, and also currently we have a team working on Vanguard, which is a service-based multiplayer game. So we're currently exploring new kind of genres in the studio. And now I hand it over to Raja for talking a bit about him.
Sure. Hey guys, once again, I'm Raja Ghosh, and I'm from Bhilai, Chhattisgarh, and I've been working in Remedy since 3 years as an environment artist, and I'm going to share my career story with you all and the experience I gained throughout and how I ended up here. And trust me, it's going to be a tragic story and you're going to love it. And I hope it will help some people here to make their career decision. And this is the first time I'm talking in front of these many people, so mistakes are expected. So please bear with me. Get to the next slide. So let's talk about my education background. On 2005, I had my bachelor's in commerce from Pandit Ravi Shankar University, Raipur. And side by side, I was also doing a professional in multimedia course from Bhilai. And that course was more focused to the graphic design and 2D animation. And since childhood, I was very passionate about animation and games, movies. And back in days, I used to play games on my uncle's computer, like Prince of Persia, Dangerous Dave, Alley Cat, and all those games. And I remember my uncle who suggested me to learn about it and how these companies make these games and animation. So I started looking for an institution who can teach this kind of stuff as a base. So that's how I started my career in it. Then in 2007, I
Hey guys, looks like we have a disconnection from various sides. So yeah, I'm not sure how that happened, but hopefully they should be back soon. Give it a minute. I'm not sure why they're disconnected. So while we wait, we are still here, right? We can still talk about it. So the one thing I will say is that the reason that I am kind of handling the careers track is because I've been teaching and I've been mentoring people for a long time, and the one thing I would like to add to guys who want to join the game industry, actually work in Europe, is that your portfolio is very, very important. Okay, very, 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 very important. Hang on, let's see, maybe if I have a message. So let's just wait for them to come back. while we wait. Your portfolio is really, really important. So let me know which ones of you want to be, how many of you guys want to be artists, how many of you want to be designers, how many of you want to be programmers. Just kind of let me know in the chat. That would be great. Or you want to be a designer, you want to be a game designer, technical artist, programmer. Excellent. Okay, Valerie's back. Valerie, you can join join the panel, please. I think Valeria is back. Where is she? No worries, Valerie. You can join back if you're here. Okay, so while she joins back, some very interesting narrative designer. A narrative designer is a good one. Technical position. Already a game designer, but want to work in Europe. Programmer, technical designer. I aspire to become a narrative designer. That's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So I mean, the one thing I would say is start working on your portfolio, and in fact, why doesn't Shiraj? Why don't you come on? While we're waiting for her, you can give some tips. So guys, this is Shiraj Telang. He is, this is controversy, but I think he's one of the best and most accomplished artists in the game industry in India today, if not the most. Do check out his profile, his website. He is next level. So Shiraj, why don't you talk a little bit about, you can kind of take it, about this, right? So
yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, first of all, Rahul. I've just left a message for Valeria, trying to see what exactly has happened. And this is kind of like a mixed crowd where we have a lot of people unrelated to art. So I could maybe start by giving a bit of like an introduction about myself. I'm currently working as an art director at Moon Active. Moon Active is a mobile game company based in Israel. We have about 1,500 people around the world, and we have made Coin Master, which is a really popular game, and it became like a billion-dollar game last year. So I was previously working in Europe, and I lived in Barcelona for 4 years. That's where actually I met Valeria, and we were colleagues together at King in Barcelona. And then I moved to Rovio, and I lived in Finland for 2 years, and I was the studio art director for the Battle Studio there. So basically, that's what it is. And if there are any artists out here, and if they have any specific question, they could maybe write them down here. I'm not sure whether I can help for other people other than artists, but maybe I could. Let's see. Is there any question here?
There are a bunch of questions here. Let me see if so.
By the way, my track and my stories could be very different for other people.
There's a good one.
I think a lot of people are asking about graduation or certificates and all, and
there's an art-related one. Is a degree required for becoming a concept artist?
Not at all. I mean, if you study it from somewhere, it becomes your much more easier the path overall. You can learn something more faster. But I know a lot of people who are self-taught, including myself. And I basically just did my schooling and I started my career. So I only went to higher secondary for my 12th, like the typical Kendriya Vidyalaya classes in 10th and 12th. And then I started my career, and I didn't do any graduation for a very long time. And I did it one from Annamalai University as a correspondence just for the sake of being a graduate. But it did not have any impact or had any reasons for me getting hired in Europe, for example. So it's mostly the portfolio which works for people compared to education.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to find out where that is. No worries. Okay. Some other questions coming in. An effective way for practicing art. Not really. So career-wise, right? Career-wise, let me kind of ask you, Shiraj. You were working for a while in Europe, right? Barcelona. So
Hmm.
how was that? Like for anyone working in the game industry, how do you go about moving from here to actually getting a job for a game company in Europe in a beautiful place like Barcelona? Can you tell us a little bit about your career path and what you did to
Yeah,
actually get in there?
sure. So before I moved to Barcelona, and that's basically 2014, 2015, I already had about 8, 10 years of experience working in India, and I worked at bigger to smaller studios, mostly gaming companies. And I was also an art lead at Lakshya Digital, which is in Gurgaon. And there was a point in my career when I felt that I wanted to be outside from India just so that I can experience a different work culture and I can see how art gets made from a very different perspective compared to how people do that in India. And it was the curiosity which brought me the hook of wanting to apply. And just one random day, I came to my wife and I said that, hey, how about we don't have any family liabilities, fortunately for the moment. We are still young. How about I start applying to various places and see where the luck takes us? So I put together my portfolio and I decided that every night before sleeping, I'm going to apply to 5 companies and I'll not stop despite whatever rejection comes through my way. And I started sending my applications. And I was just quite lucky enough that on my first day when I sent my applications to different companies, King replied, and the very next day, and they started the interview rounds with me, and I went through them with my patients, and eventually, like it takes a really long time in order to get there. There's a Indian passport is not that strong. You have to apply for the travel visa in order to go for your interviews. Like all of that kind of like longer steps happen. But if you keep yourself with patience and keep trying, it reaches to the point that the permits get done and you get the visa and everything. And it took me about 10 months for me to move to King. But overall, it was very delightful.
So the visa, etc. Basically, a lot of where people are. The thing is, like I'm sure they have in Europe, etc. They can't just hire people. They in many countries they have to actually justify why they are hiring someone from abroad. Why they can't hire a local? Is that also a thing in Europe?
Yeah, so the government cares a lot about employment for their own local people, and that's a very common scenario. Spain, for example, is a country where there are a lot of unemployment percentage compared to the other places. So maybe I'm not giving very validated facts, but most cases I've heard that every employer has to give an explanation to the government why they are choosing to hire a person from abroad and why don't they have a matching talent available in their own country. And it even requires a very legal process in order to do so. You have to post your job position on your newspaper, and there has to be a job column where you have to put your position and then wait for the applications to come from that country. You have to screen all those candidates and provide a justification on why these people are not getting hired and this person is getting hired. So that's all very true. However, when it comes to skill-based jobs, I think it's not that tricky overall. And as long as you have the necessary skill sets, you go through. That's how it generally works. It worked for me.
Right. I think the key thing that Shiraj shared is, remember, I really loved his line when he said, look, I'm going to start applying and I'm not going to give up till I get it. And I know several people who've done that. A lot of people have this thing that they want to work abroad. Okay, so the one thing I will say to everyone watching here is that working in India, our game industry is comparatively new. And the one thing that happens when you move abroad and you work in the game industry abroad is that you get exposed to the work culture over there, which is quite different from the work culture. Perhaps in some AAA companies in India, you do have that kind of culture, I understand. But generally, the work culture, even in game companies in India, is kind of like brought over from the software industry, right?
True.
And I've worked in Vancouver, and it's amazing, right? It is something else. When you work over there, like it blows your mind as to how how crazy it is, and how laid back, however, how professional they are. It's just a different style of working completely, and to work abroad is awesome, right? It's a great goal to have. And even if you do that for 2 or 3 years, it will completely open your eyes to a whole new universe, right? So it's a great goal. It's a great goal worth having. But the one thing I will say, and I'm sure he'll say, it's hard. It may not happen the first time you apply, it may not happen the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. Go at it. You have to be of a very high quality. Your work has to be of a high quality. Your portfolio has to be high quality. Your communication skills have to be high quality, because you're not going to be communicating with someone in your native tongue, or you might be communicating with someone who is not even a native English speaker, and you have to communicate, you have to get along well with them. So you have to prove that your work is good, you're a professional. She's back.
Oh, guys, sorry. Like I didn't know when this dropped, unfortunately.
I think maybe I'll share my portfolio link on the chat.
Okay. I will. I'm gonna drop now, you guys.
Yeah, sorry for the
Yeah, I'm gonna drop out too.
Okay.
Okay. How do I exit from?
Guys, can you tell us
here?
Okay. I'm not sure what you heard, unfortunately, about. Yeah. What was the last thing you heard from us?
I think we were hearing about his story. Till his education, 2007. We heard about till your education.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Actually, yeah, he was just talking about his education in the Vancouver school.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if you got there, but then we wanted to show you his portfolio. So maybe we're gonna do that. Let me again share the screen here. Oh yeah, because this is like.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope they can see that.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, please. As I told you, mistakes gonna happen.
Technical problems always. Okay. Now I guess you can see the portfolio. Yeah.
Yeah. So here my ArtStation page. You can also visit and take a look, because it's gonna take time if you go through with all of them. So this was the character I decided to make for my demo reel, and you can see all the background with it. And if I go back, that was the environment. So yeah, I mean, they like my environment piece more than my character. This was the assignment I was talking about. I put extra effort in it. I did it in 3 weeks. Transformer with this jet model with it. So yeah, I mean, that's all. Can we switch back?
Yes, for the moment. We stop sharing quickly. Oh, here. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Just saw the chat.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't see the chat all the time.
I'll share the link soon.
Yes, you can see it. Maybe I can just quickly share it in there. Is a project like he worked on before?
No, that's just you can see just a name I thought for my profile. It's nothing to do with any project.
Let's see if we can. Yeah.
I think they can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now.
And that's the website, sotra.artstation.com, that you can visit. Okay. All right. So this was the first game I was talking about when I started working as a freelancer with my teacher, Prime or Wheel. I cannot talk more about this game because the demo is out already in Steam, but the game is still in production. But in the demo, there is this drone model I worked on, which I can share with you. That you
guys, we can't see your screen.
Oh,
no.
sorry. Just a second.
Really, back to this one.
Oh, this one.
But it should be there. Here.
Okay.
Now there's the portfolio. And this.
Can you see it?
Yeah, probably can see them. Can you see it now?
You need to just say it because we cannot see the chat
Let
while.
me see. Again. Yes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
Okay.
I see some yes now.
Right. Thanks, Bhanu Pratap. Yeah. So I was actually going back because so this was a game, Prime or Real. I was working on it, and I was just mentioned like I cannot talk about it more because this game is still in production, but demo is out on Steam, and this was the model I worked on it. It was a drone, and this one is with the rotor blade. Sorry, this one without the rotor blade, and this one with the rotor blade. Yeah, cannot talk about it more about it. Then while working on this project, I was actually looking for a full-time job to secure my future because you cannot rely on freelance, right? It can stop like any time. So I was applying everywhere. Like wherever I seen any openings, I was like applying everywhere in every country. Yeah, but never get any reply back from them. You know the pain. Then I saw this opening in Remedy's website, like they were hiring junior environment artist and senior environment artist. So I applied there. Remedy rejected my application in the beginning. They sent me a email said like you are not fit for this role, and I was so angry about it. Like after spending this much of money and time, left the well-established job, and still struggling with the same thing that I was struggling like 8 years ago. And then with that anger, I applied again Remedy as a senior environment art. I'm like, what's gonna happen? They're gonna send another email saying you're not fit for this role. But something happened. They actually sent me email and they said the reason they reject my application because they kept my application for senior position. That's why they rejected my junior application, and I was quite surprised with it. And they asked me for this for the interview. And in the interview, they asked me to do the art test. They gave me 1 week for that, and I had to put like 16 hours in it. So I tried to finish everything in 2 days. I did that without taking a 1 week. And they were so happy with it, and they liked my submission. And then they asked me to travel to Finland for the last round of the interview. So it was an amazing feeling when I was here, when I came here for the last round of the interview, and when I entered in the building and saw my favorite characters' picture on the wall, Max Payne and Alan Wake hanging there. And then it was very exciting when I stepped on it. And that moment I was thinking like, this is it. Because if I fail this interview, it's fine because I made this far and stepped on one of my favorite company. I can take that like happily. So, but everything went well, and at the end of the day, they offered me the job, and I was so excited. And it was the first time I entered in a gaming. I mean, properly in a AAA studio, and I started working in Remedy from 2018.
I think I need to go a bit faster.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm almost done.
Because
So as you can see, I started in the control as an environment artist, and there I learned world building concept with player guidance. Also learned the Northlight engine that Remedy used for all the games, and how to make game ready assets in the engine. Some of the artwork environment I did, which you can also find in my ArtStation page. There's this one. I wanted to show you this because this one I did without any concept art. So sometimes you'll get this kind of challenge while working that you don't have a concept art, but you have to come up with something. And then I did my research and come up with this idea to have this room, something like this. And my director approved it, and it ended up in the game. Also, I got a chance working on DLC, Control DLC, AWE, Altered World Event, and some of the environment I did, like this Twisted Office. And finally, in 2019, my first game title came out. And the moment I was waiting for all these years, it took 8 years to get this far. So yeah, I mean, at last, I just want to thank my parents and my wife and the people who helped me throughout this journey and showed their trust on me to achieve those goals. And also thanks to Remedy for this amazing opportunity to start a new story of my life. So thank all. I survived.
Thank you, Raja. I will quickly stop the sharing. Let me see if this works.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, just like reading your comments. I will try to go quickly. I read some of the questions. Unfortunately, not.
Sorry, I'll quickly interject. So the thing is, you guys can carry on
Yes.
beyond the normal time. It's
Okay,
okay.
cool.
Right? It's all right. I mean, I think Shiraj is there. He handled, so you guys can complete your presentation. I have another talk that I
No
have to
worries.
handle, so I'm going to bounce at 9 o'clock. But you guys take your time, finish it, answer questions. No worries.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you. Yes, so I will go through some of the recruitment part, so some of the tips and tricks that will answer some of the questions that you asked in the chat. So hopefully, we will cover some of that now. Let me again share the screen.
I think it's already shared.
No, I think I'm not sure anymore.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
now. All right. So here, yes. Let's go again. Before you start, so this is more for people that are starting in the game industry. So Raja shared before, that he attended a school in Vancouver. There are a bunch of schools everywhere. So if you do a quick research on Google, you will see which ones are the most famous ones, all over the world. Doesn't really matter, to be honest, as long as you get the experience you want. And here, for example, in Sweden, we have Future Games, and again, there's a bunch of schools. So a school is a secure and structured option where you will have the feedback from your mentors. It's an easy way in because a lot of the schools also help you finding an internship or a first level entry job in the industry. And also you can get constant feedback from your teacher, from your colleagues, other students, and so on. But on the other side, also self-study is very important. I think someone asked, do I need a game degree to enter in the game industry? So the answer is no, or better, there's no right or wrong way there. So you can go to a school, and of course that's easier because it gives you something, but you can also do self-study. That is a very common options. So you can do mentorships, you can go, on Udemy or other websites, forums, and so on, and take your own courses, work on your portfolio, and so on. And yeah, again, you can still get feedback there from other colleagues, from people in the industry, and so on. So self-study, of course, is more accessible for everyone if you don't have the chance to go and study somewhere. But yeah, again, the school, the degree is just not enough to, guarantee you're going to get a job. And then generalist versus specialist, this is very common, in the industry. You can be both. You can be a generalist, you can be a specialist. Both are great choices. Usually in AAA studios, so console and PC, we have mainly specialist profiles, someone specialized in a specific area environment art, texture, and so on. And in mobile or indie, you might find more generalist people, people, for example, working in 3D, but working in different kind of assets. And one thing, in Finland, for example, we have mainly majority of mobile studios. In Sweden, we have majority of console studios. So again, depending on the country, you might find different things. And yeah, just, there's no easy way in. So research the country market and research, depending on what's your goal. Yeah, then something to consider, learn about the different roles and disciplines in the game industry. You can find that online, you can read the job ads, you can find other people on LinkedIn that have a similar job. So try to see what kind of skill sets are required by that specific company. There are roles that are more or less technical and so on. What are your strengths and core skills, and what are you passionate about as well? And also, of course, important the communication. So be able to express yourself. And most of companies are working in English as a main language. So as long as you can speak English, usually you have access to any game company. Regarding portfolios and application, that's your first impression to the company. So do a lot of research there. First of all, assess what are you good at and what you're not so good at, and to be prepared for the interview, they're going to ask you those questions. So know your core competencies and be ready to evaluate yourself. Think about, well, if you can, a 2-year plan. Where do you want to go? What goal do you want to reach? And if you can, again, do research about the studio. So what is the studio known for? Usually this information you can easily find on the internet, on the career side, the studio size, learn about what kind of tech are they using, what kind of engine, for example, what kind of art style, and so on. So that's very important because, you're going to have questions during the interview process. And keep your CV and LinkedIn up to date. Use examples on your CV. So try to be specific about which kind of projects did you work on, even if it's like student projects or projects that you did like in your personal time. Keep it in English, of course. And the CV shouldn't be too long. So try to keep it 1-2 pages. And on LinkedIn, you can keep your profile updated. You can always build a network there. Try to connect with people in the industry that are doing a similar job, or that, maybe can give you tips around, the job you want to get. You can always ask references as well to either, your colleagues, your teacher, or fellow students. And have your portfolio ready and easily accessible. For designers, mainly, as I said before, I'm more specialized in design and art. So, that's where I can give you more tips. So on the portfolio, again, like being easily accessible is, it's easy for you to apply if you have a link to a website like Raja had, for example, ArtStation. You can have your own website. Try to explain what did you do on the project. Is it a team project? Is it something you worked on? And present everything. You can add documentation, design documentation, paper design. Specify if you use an engine to work on that. And also, you can find some games that have level editors or gameplay function with the mod. So you can take the original game and modify it. So you can actually train like that, like Minecraft or Skyrim, for example, they have that option. And also very important, game jams. If there are game jams, events, you can participate in, is a great way to get experience, like working with deadlines, working with a team, and also, get acknowledged for the work you do. And for artists, like same thing, there's a bunch of websites you can use for your portfolio. Vimeo, Behance, maybe more for UI UX, CG Society more for 3D, Reel for animators, of course, and quality over quantity. So when you apply, be focused on like few art assets that are very good quality. So don't just try to put everything there. It doesn't need to be like 20 pieces, but just few that are very good, and they're also like oriented to the studio you're applying for and the style they're doing. And consistency in the quality. And as I was saying before, a piece that speaks to the studio you want to work with. So stylized for, more like a cartoony style, but if you apply for Remedy, we would like to see something more realistic, for example. And again, like always ask for feedback. If you can on your portfolio, always ask for feedback. Describe what you did, how much time you spend, if you use a concept from someone else, if you took the concept somewhere, and showcase all the tasks and workflows that are required. So modeling, texturing, and so on. I'm trying to go a bit faster now. This is an example of the rookies. That is an online context, like this example of some of the submissions. You can find it online again. Also, ArtStation is hosting contests pretty often. It's important to start building your portfolio early on. Think of the games you want to make and start focusing on that. Don't wait for the school or someone else to tell you. Look at other artists that are the same level as you, set the benchmark, and compare your current work to somebody else. Of course, you're not going to be instantly the best of the best, but be realistic with your own development, be understanding, and also, of course, be kind to yourself. And yeah, a test is something I think I read before, like that is pretty common in the industry. So it usually takes from few hours to 1 week time during the recruitment process. You're going to receive most likely a test. And it can be a great experience. It helps evaluate your skills and competencies, but it also shows how good you are at following instructions, planning your work, and following deadline. So think of it as a good experience, as a learning experience. Even if you fail at the test, it's still, learning experience there. And always try to ask for feedback for the test that you did. And just, follow the steps, read the instructions very carefully, and plan and scope your own work. Again, it's never going to be perfect, so try to return the test on time. Some interview question. This is mainly at the beginning of the process. So you might be asked about your career history, your experience, like the tasks and responsibility related to each role or project you worked on, even as a student. Why are you applying for that company? So most likely you're going to be asked about why you motivated to join that company, research around the culture and value of the company, and yeah, there's a bunch of possible topics you can be asked: communication, teamwork, feedback, and so on. Also think about what are you looking for. So what is your goal? And also a big part, of course, for you is relocation and salary. Of course, you're probably not going to be familiar with, the salaries, but at least for the relocation, I think, again, my experience is mainly from Europe. So depending on the country, it might be more or less difficult to get a work permit. But first of all, like usually work permits are for people from mid to senior level. So if you're a junior, it's going to be like, very hard to get a work permit from a company because of the country. So usually, for example, here in Finland, we have a specialist resident permit that is required for employees outside of the EU. So we have to apply as a company. Usually, it's requested that the employees has a bachelor master's degree in order to get this permit. If it's also possible that the person doesn't have this, but in this case, the company needs to write a business case, a letter to the immigration agency to explain why the employee skills are so, unique that we need to bring someone from outside. So remember this, that if a company decides to, start this process, it can be a very complex process, can take up to, long time. And, so you need to be patient there sometimes. And finding the opportunities. Well, as we said before, of course, there's LinkedIn. There's a bunch of like career websites easily find on the internet, or every game company has a career website as well. Networking, I think, is one of the main things. The gaming industry is international, but it's also a small community. Try to attend game dev events, conferences, whatever you can, even if it's online. Join some groups on Discord, Facebook, LinkedIn, anything you find that is, specific to your career and craft. Always good to take part in game jams, hackathons, any kind of competition, so that people, are getting to know you. And of course, internship is a possibility. But again, like usually for internship, we can't really provide a work permit. So maybe you start in your own country, and then after you get that experience, you can, try to apply abroad. Few takeaways from this: that the research and study, work on your portfolio, ask for feedback as much as you can, and networking, and be kind to yourself, but also know your worth. Yeah, and you can add both myself and Raja on LinkedIn, so you will find us with our names easily, and can check, of course, the career website for Remedy. So yeah, we made it kind of on time. Let me see if I can now stop this. Awesome. Now, hi, Shiraj.
I think Rahul has to go to another session, so maybe I can help you here with the question. There are a lot of questions, so what we could do is we could maybe start picking up the ones which are more voted questions.
Yes, I'm trying to check as well because I see the list here. Let me see. I'm going to the first questions.
Cool.
I think
do you
some
want
of
me
them
to read it out, or are you able to read it from here?
I'm able to read. Yeah. So
Okay.
I can see like, can US game development degree be beneficial to getting into the game industry in Europe? Yes, definitely. Any game development degree, and I mean, like Raja is an example. He's in Canada, so it's not exclusive. Getting into the game industry in US versus Europe. I mean, Europe is big. It really depends on the country, so it can't really be compared. To be honest, like you have the experience in Canada that might be slightly different, but it's gonna be not easy in any country. So yeah, can't really be compared. Let me see. Yeah, again, like game engine programming. Unfortunately, I have like less, knowledge on that part. But I think I mentioned like Future Game as a school, for example, here in Sweden. But again, like you can find a bunch of schools like for that as well. I think like, again, as I said, it doesn't really matter that much the school. Like you can easily find online which are the best schools. And like, for example, Raja had to have a student loan to enter the school. So like try to, if your objective is to like get into a school, then just, try with, the ones that are more accessible to you. Because that is gonna already give you something there to easily then access to the industry.
And the curriculum is very important. Like when you look for this school, always check the curriculum, like what they're offering you. Because you're spending a lot of money on it, right? So it needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
What time, how much time you are spending on it, and so yeah. So for me, the curriculum was like one of the most important things when I was looking for the school.
Yeah, I think another one is the game assembly is pretty famous as well here in Sweden. Then I think there's a bunch in other countries.
There's another good one, Think Tank in Vancouver.
Okay,
that's a really good one.
I answered the one around UX, I think, in the discussion. But yeah, basically UI and UX is very much requested right now. So you have good opportunities, but you need to have a portfolio that really stands out, and you need to know about at least, games in the UX, even if you don't have the experience, but, also as a player, we usually ask that. Yeah, Canada, let me see. Is the degree required for becoming a concept artist? No, the answer is no. As I said before, it can be also, you can study by yourself as well. It's not that we require the degree. As I said also, for the work permit, sometimes they do ask for a degree. So it's easier for sometimes as a company for the immigration, but it's not a must. So if you are very good at what you're doing, you have some experience, you have to have experience and a good portfolio, then it's not a must. For musicians, I see is mainly audio design roles, so composer roles, sound design, and so on. So again, like also the audio is like another like big category for for the gaming industry. It can be also like in both mobile and console game, but of course in console we have a different different roles. Some of them are more technical, some of them are more like on the composing musician part. But definitely in general, also the audio is going to be more technical with time, so it's always good and it's always better, in my opinion, is if an audio designer also knows a bit about engine, a bit about scripting or anything like that, because it makes it much easier. And I think, that Shirash, you picked the question. I saw like a pop-up thing about internship, right?
Yeah, there was someone who was asking whether Remedy provides internship because someone is looking for that. And he says that he's doing master's student from Buckingham City University.
Okay.
In game programming.
Yes, we do provide internship. We don't have anything right now, but probably next year. So you can keep checking on our website. As I said before, like for internship, we can't provide a visa, or just because of the laws from the country. So that's the only thing for an internship, because that means that you're an entry level, that you don't have no experience, and we're mentoring you. So this is for most companies in Europe and the US. But definitely, yeah, we do, and you will find on our career site that I can share after as well in the chat. I don't know if you want to take this one.
An effective way for practicing art.
No, this one. Or yeah, this one as well.
I can.
There's an interesting question.
Yes, sorry.
One where someone is asking that they have heard that there are certain visa dependencies for jobs in EU. Like I've heard that in Ireland, maybe you need to get a job as a producer or higher rank in order to secure a work visa. So is that something like a salary slab that you have to meet in order to get approved to work there?
I mean, as we mentioned before, like in most countries, and I don't know now Ireland specifically, but from my experience in Spain, Sweden, Finland, most countries, you need to apply for a visa. Most countries, they require a bachelor or master degree. It doesn't have to be in games, but they require a degree in order to apply for that visa. So you have to demonstrate that the candidate is specialized and is a resource that you cannot find in the country. This is the kind of reasoning behind from the country. So there's also like a minimum salary that you need to pay the candidate in order to have the visa. So that's why junior roles are usually below that level of salary. So they're not included there. So that's why I mentioned like mid-level and like senior level. This was. Yeah, if you don't have a bachelor degree or master, again, as I said before, it's not a must, but you need to be a strong candidate in terms of experience, in terms of, what you can show. So because the company has to justify why are we picking this candidate and we cannot find the same candidate in Europe or in the country. So that's the general reasoning for, most visas.
Yeah. And I also think that maybe most of the specialist salaries are already on above average. So it already takes clear of the benchmark which is required in order to prove it. I found another interesting question here.
Yes.
Are there any remote working opportunities that we can apply for if we have about 3-5 years of experience or education?
Yes. I think in that case, what we usually do, what most companies do, are hiring people as freelancers or contractors. And I think that's what Raja did when he was in Canada. So he was working for a company in Canada, but he was working as a freelancer there because they couldn't like give him the permit because he was like just, as a fresh student. But they hired him as a freelance. I don't know if you want to share anything else.
In Canada, when I was there, I was waiting for my work permit to get, and I applied twice for it, but both times it got rejected. But I got this opportunity to stay there and work as a freelancer for this company who was based on US. So it is possible.
But you have to have your own then freelancing gig, no? You have to like apply as a freelancer as well, or pay your own taxes and so on, I think, in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you go through with these slides, with these websites, I actually talked about it earlier, Elance. I mean, it's now actually Upwork. If you go through those websites, they cover everything, all the taxes and stuff, because when they pay you back, they already like deduct all those commission and the taxes out of it, so you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, you can use those websites to approach these people who look for look for people who can do their job. The request they ask in the website. So so they always look for people who can work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And usually what you do, you bid on the project, and if they like your bidding, so they approach you, and then they start conversation about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another question I see is, after getting a degree from abroad, can I apply for a job there itself, or qualifying for a job visa when I go there as a student visa? So I'm already in that country and I'm being a student there. Can I start applying for a job visa on a student visa?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
It's what Raja did basically. Yeah, he applied. So he was a student there. He had a student visa there. He applied for working visa.
Work visa too, yeah.
He got rejected like multiple times, and that's why he took the freelance job.
Usually, when you get another visa, it immediately change into, like, if you are a student, it immediately will change into a work permit. So yeah, it is possible. You can apply for, and if you are lucky, maybe company will sponsor you. If you are like amazing artist, sometimes people get lucky and then they got sponsored with throughout the company.
Does freelancing works in AAA gaming industry?
Yes, we do have freelancers right now. Like, and especially now with the pandemic, I think more companies are open to freelancing or contracting because a lot of people are working from home. So yes, it is working. Sometimes it's project based. So maybe we have a need specifically for a project. So we need a person not as a permanent employee, but specifically for that project that is, like needing more people. And in that case, we can hire freelancers. Yeah. But again, my suggestion is always like, if you want to be a freelancer, like just try to be out there. Just try, like to make your presence well known on the internet and like, either, trying to get gigs with, networking, portfolio, and so on. I'm just checking also the question again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm trying to apply for game animation and I tried, but I couldn't pass the test. Yeah. Again, like take your time to improve your skills. Like that's very important. Like, and yeah, of course you can get other jobs, but as I say, like try to get the experience, I guess, in your own country first, even though it's not what you want to do at the end. Maybe you want to, work somewhere else, but at least, that would give you the first experience. And while you're doing that, keep working on your skills and your portfolio, learning new tools, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Someone is asking, what are the events we can go to, like the events we can join, the conferences or something, places to go to?
There's so many. It's like, I think, in the game, it really depends also like what is your craft. There are some, like GDC, for example, it's the most known in the whole gaming industry. I think like last year they were doing online conferences, so it wasn't only like on site. I'm not sure about this year if they're gonna do the same or not. Because of the pandemic, a lot of companies, they switched to like online conferences. So yeah, GDC is probably like the most famous one. But yeah, my suggestion like is just try to, search online, like what kind of like events are related to your specific skills. Like there's in the UK, for example, there's Develop in Brighton. It depends also, how, if you can travel to the country or not, if the conference is online or not. I don't know if you have any other suggestion around that, but
this follows GDC.
Yeah, GDC is the most famous. Then THU, I think.
If you're an artist, then maybe going to Trojan Horse was a unicorn.
Yeah,
that's it could be.
As an artist, THU is like pretty also.
There's Pocket Gamers Connect, PGC. Yeah.
So on Pocket Gamers, and I think there's that website and Game Industry Biz. I think on Game Industry Biz, you're going to find most events at, all time. I can kind of copy paste here. Let's see if I can just... On this website, you're probably going to find all the events. Here. Where's my...
it's not allowing to be
here. Oh, okay, now.
What kind of portfolio they expect from a trainee environment artist? No?
Yeah, if you want to say something about your portfolio.
Oh yeah, at least if you're more focusing on environment art, then it's better to make at least like 3 environment pieces in it. And one of the best things you can do, like you can approach some of the concept art through all these websites like ArtStation. Just find the concept that you can easily work on it. and contact that concept art artist and ask for the permission that you want to work in his concept, and you want to make this 3D environment, and take the permission from him. And once you get the permission, then start working on it. So I would say, yeah, I mean, 2 or 3 environment, like a one full environment, and you can also make props, just like like props for the environment. So you can show, like, you can actually break down like that, like one full environment and one with the props and few other stuff like vegetation and stuff. So that will show your potential.
Yeah, and related to opportunities for environment artist versus character. Yeah, in my experience, yes, character artist positions are more difficult to get because there's more people that want to get that kind of position. So, like, yes, it's gonna be more difficult. You have to be very good there.
Yeah, like me, I always wanted to become a character artist, but look at me, I'm an environment artist now.
Yeah, and this concept artist designer. Yeah, also concept art is pretty common in the industry. So there's a lot of people that want those kind of jobs. So it's going to be very hard. If you go to 3D, then yeah, in terms of tools, I don't know if you have any tools like Maya, Max. It really depends on the company. The most used like in 3D are Maya and
Max or Maya.
Exactly, yeah.
It's one of the common one.
Yeah.
And for the light, for the texturing, you can learn Substance Designer or Substance Painter. That's one of the common application we use.
And if you have experience using an engine, is always a plus. Like that's.
Yeah. I mean, if you manage to finish your demo reel and show it in any game engine, then it's a plus. Yeah.
Getting a job as a fresher. As an entry level, you don't need to show, of course, work that you did in games because you're not going to have work that you did in games, but you can do your own art piece but it has to be relevant for the work you're applying for. So it has to be something that reflects what the company is doing. So even if you don't have the game experience. Trying to see. Oh, there's a lot of I'm trying to go back to the Q&A actually.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to.
Yeah, because there's a button. And as I said before, I see a lot of questions related to specific roles. Now we can't unfortunately answer all the questions related to the specific role because each role is so different from the other, like sound, narrative, engineer, and so on. So my suggestion in general, when you're wondering yourself, like, what kind of portfolio do I need to have? What kind of work do I need to have for that specific role? It's like go online, go on LinkedIn, go on any platform where you're gonna find those people. For developers, for example, you can find GitHub, Stack Overflow. So go there and try to see the people that are doing the same job as you want. What kind of work do they have? The people that are actually already in the industry. Not everyone has updated portfolio, but you're gonna find people with updated portfolios, and you can see, okay, this is what is needed for that work. This is the kind of portfolio. This is the kind of experience. Or you have to do your own research as well because, it's not going to be like something that, people are going to tell you. So do your own research for that and try to see, for this kind of job, like this is the experience.
And you can always show variations on your demo reel, like I was just mentioning about this environment artist demo reel. You can show a different environment scene, like one with the rural and one with the urban, so that you can show when you apply for a job, then they can see okay, this guy can do this and then that. If we put this in this scenario, he will be able to pull it out. So yeah, it's always better to have some variation in your demo reel.
This is does experience required for concept artists? Oh, I lost the question. I see the questions and I lose them, unfortunately. I'm trying to find it again.
Maybe Shiraj can say that because he.
No, it wasn't me who picked up.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him.
Someone else is a moderator.
So now I
don't
lost
know
the question.
I see a couple of those picked ones. One says, Raja sir, does experience required for concept artists like worked earlier in a company? Can it be a small indie company?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if your work is good, then I mean, it's not going to be a problem.
Right.
So it totally depends on your like how good you are, and how are you standing out of the crowd. That's one of the important.
Another someone, I didn't pick this up, but someone else picked up. What kind of portfolio needed for rendering engineer?
Yeah, it's something that we don't really have here. I'm sorry, guys.
But what I would say, like, if you guys have more questions like this kind of, then I can maybe ask my friends and get an answer for you. So just send me those questions in my LinkedIn profile, and I'll get back to you on it.
Yeah, those are
I would love to answer back onto this question. Because I had the same kind of questions when I was looking for a job.
Yeah, there are some profile, of course, we're working with, some others we're not right now. I see, for example, like narrative design opportunities. The demand, like narrative design, yes, there are roles, like Remedy is a very like narrative focused company, but there's also a lot of demand. So for narrative design roles, like you really need to know well the language. In this case, it would be English, and you have to have also like a very good like portfolio with samples for that. So narrative is requested, but less than other roles, and there's a very high demand for narrative design roles. And you can, I say, can we put our own game design document in our portfolio? Yes, you can, of course. Actually, it's good that the more you can show about your thinking process, or design thinking process for game design, for UX design, is always appreciated by the company. Even for audio design, if you can explain why did you do that in that specific scene. So like it is always good to have.
I'm going to pick one question from here. In gaming industry, are the jobs mostly contract-based or permanent?
They're mostly permanent, yes.
I would say in Europe, it's permanent.
In Europe. Yeah, in Europe.
Not in US and Canada.
Okay, then you have more experience there.
It's different in country-wise. So you never say, like sometimes they can offer you as a like a permanent position, but mostly, as far as my experience in Canada and US, it's contract.
Okay, so so then it's like Europe is mainly permanent. Then.
Yeah, I mean Europe you usually get a permanent position. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are kind of like 20 minutes past the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So how about we let Valeria and Raja continue, and you anyways drop your links to join this, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry for the technical problems. Unfortunately, we didn't realize, and I think Raja was talking by himself for some time.
If I miss any question, like if you miss any question, you guys like anytime hit me up in LinkedIn, and I'll get back to you on it.
Yeah,
I would love to.
I'll share this here. Thank you for having us.
And also, don't forget to fill up the feedback form. It could be somewhere on the handouts.
Okay.
Okay, here. Sorry, I'm going from one screen to the other. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you, Valeria. Thank you, Raja.
Thanks, guys, for having us.
Have a nice evening. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.